So the topic today is what is expected of new Muslims. I think the first thing you need to sort of have in check is the expectations you should have for yourself. And I think this is something that we should have in general in life anyway, like whatever your role is, whether it's mum, wife, husband, whatever, you should always have a certain level of standards for yourself. So I thought maybe it'd be beneficial to get into that a wee bit. I mean, what expectations do you think a new Muslim should have for themselves?
They need to be realistic and sincere. Make sure that you kind of take things in your stride. When you learn something, start putting it into practice instead of just like learning lots of things and then not really putting the things into practice. You know, when I think back to those early days, it took me a while to learn the Salah, how to do it. And I had a friend that had become a Muslim, like, you know, just a week before me. And she was the one to kind of keep nudging me along. She's got quite a strict personality, I think. Like, I think at least that time I felt like compared to me, she was a lot more, you know, well, she's African in it, like she's Ghanaian as well in it. So she was proper just like, yeah, we need to be doing these things. Like it was like a checklist of stuff in it. So yeah, mashallah, she was proper just going in with the stuff, right? So it's like me, like I was kind of like casual and I had a lot of Muslim friends who weren't practicing as well. So I was hanging around with them a lot still. So they kind of made me feel like, oh, well, you know, I'm a Muslim now, but it's just like, yeah, we're just chilling. I'm really glad to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for her because like she really kept me in check and let me like always reminded me that staying as I was at that time was not acceptable. I needed to move on from that stage because and having those kind of friends, I'm not saying they were bad people, but they were not practicing and they was doing a lot of things which weren't correct. So for me to stay like that, that was not going to help me as a Muslim, even with my family structure as well. For me to say to my family, I'm Muslim, and then they see me just carrying on my life like the way I had been doing, it wouldn't have been any kind of dawah to them or convince them that, oh, you know, you've done something to improve your life.
I want to pick up on a word that you mentioned, and that's realistic. Being realistic really does centre you and keep that balance. Not too much, not too little. If you do too much, you end up being overwhelmed or burnt out. If you do too little, then you don't make the progress. Eventually, you fall back into, you know, bad habits or bad lifestyles or bad company. So you really do need to be moving forward at a decent pace. What is it you're trying to achieve? What type of Muslim do you see yourself being? This is the ultimate self-care, you know, like it really is. Like you have all these people online that are talking about, you know, skin routines and fitness routines and blah, blah, blah. Like this is the ultimate self-care. This comes first before all of these things. If you really want to look out for yourself and feel good about yourself, and all it starts with, you know, your heart in terms of learning rulings and things like this, all of that's going to take time. So therefore, you need to prioritise time